So this is the second webinar in this series, Creating Value, Growing Your Business Successfully. And tonight we are going to focus on skill set. I like to organize the success of business into three ingredients: mindset, skill set, and heart set. And when talking about skill set, I like to break it down into three categories. And before we talk about those categories, I think it's important to, right off the bat, remind ourselves that number one, learning, growing, and changing can be very uncomfortable experiences. So when you're in business for yourself, you are going to be doing learning, you are going to be growing, and you're going to be changing. So expect the discomfort to happen. Recognize that that is a sign of growing, learning, and changing, and that those things are really important along the process, along the way, and as a part of the process. And just to pull in some of what we talked about in the first webinar, self-awareness, a little like self-awareness inquiry, I think is important to take a look at your mindset as you're moving into and thinking about your business. So recognizing and really forming your vision of your business, starting with how much money do you want to make per month as a way to say, okay, if I know how much money I want to make, then I can move backwards and decide, you know, what are the steps that I need to, or to take, or where do I need to stretch myself and grow. And so we'll talk a lot more about that tonight. And then truly and honestly, taking a look at how your mindset is supporting you in achieving this goal. And if you're interested in that more, I have a recorded webinar that is really all on mindset. So let me know if you're interested in that a little bit. So those three basic categories that I think are the basic recipe for a successful business, and acknowledging your skill set. Really, Megan, talk to what you were talking about as one of the difficulties of being in business for yourself. I think that we can group categories. So to be a successful business owner, you wind up having to wear a lot of hats, and you have to be a bookkeeper and have financial management skills. You have to market and advertise your business, and then you have your own gifts and talents and expertise that you bring with the world. And so sometimes we get out of balance with one of those things, or your skill set is stronger in one area and not strong in the other. And as an entrepreneur, it's really important to find the training and resources that you need to get better at each of these things in order to be successful. They work together. They are like a soup recipe. So if you're missing, you know, the paprika, you're going to get a whole different flavor than what you really are wanting. So so in analyzing and looking at yourself and how you want to grow, check where your strengths are in these areas. So tonight we're going to talk primarily about the jump-off point for bookkeeping and financial management, and the jump-off point for marketing and advertising skills. Okay, so I can teach you basic bookkeeping. You know, I can point you in the direction of basic tax advice and what you want to look for and what to ask for, and preparing your taxes and working with a tax professional. And my deepest hope is actually to help you feel confident in knowing where you're at in your business so that you can design where you want to go. There are a lot of resources that I can share with you around bookkeeping and financial management practices, and they are very important. So if you want to know them, let me know, and get on my newsletter mailing list, because I will begin, especially as we're approaching tax season, I'll start to put out like tidbits about like, okay, make sure you're doing this, make sure you're doing that, information that will support you. And the most supportive thing that I can do, I believe, to help an entrepreneur be successful in business is to really teach them to be comfortable with where they are financially and comfortable with where they want to go financially. So you want to look at your current budget as your starting place, as your roadmap. And I call that your current financial location. So if you were going to take a trip, you would, pre-GPS, you would have gotten the directions and wrote them down, so you know where you start and you know where you want to go. And it's the same thing in financial management. You need a really clear picture of where you're at right now and what you need. And one of the things that's really important about that picture is to take a look at a whole year or a 2-year of expenses, so that you don't forget things like holidays, you don't forget things like maintenance or reoccurring expenses that don't happen every month. I think a lot of us are very good at being like, okay, I know what I spend on groceries and I know what I spend for my utility bills and my rent or my mortgage or my car payment, these things that happen all the time, we can nail down in a second. And we forget that, Mother's Day comes around and we want, go out and spend money, or holidays, or, auto registration pops up, and then, you're forgetting things that actually are important piece of your financial location and the place that you're starting from. So I recommend to people to sit down with a calendar and do an annual budget, so that you can put into your budget a more accurate representation of what your expenses are. And on the flip side, also things like tax refunds. Don't forget that that is a part of, many of our lives that can be included. So if you're planning on your tax refund as an income, you're more likely to use it for something beneficial than if you're not planning on it. So if for 6 months you're waiting for that tax refund to pay off a credit card debt, or to invest in yourself for your business and coaching or something like that, you will have that intention set ahead of time as a part of your plan. And I think that that's a really important piece for financial success in the long run. So start where you are with accuracy. And then when you're done with that, set that aside and design your destination. So write out, actually do this. Get out the paper and write your dream budget. Write down what you really want. If that includes a new car and having that requires a car payment, or that includes a trip to visit your family every 3 months, or a donation to an organization that is really important to you, truly include all of that. Look at things like, if I had, XYZ comfort in my life or enrichment in my life, a membership to the local health club or whatever that you really actually would be supportive to you in good ways, include that. It's really important to put all of what you want into your dream budget, because you start to open up the avenues in yourself that validate that those things are good and important, and that let the universe know that this is the direction I'm going. I actually want these things. I'm no longer going to be deprived. I don't want to be in a nonprofit, uncomfortable in my own house, in my own life. In my prayer work and visioning work, I have, begun to bring in the ideas of having the abundance and prosperity to support enriching activities in my life and my family's life. So if that means putting my kid in private pitching lessons or private batting lessons because she really wants to be playing softball, then that needs to be a part of what I want, because it's a good thing and it's an important thing. So do that budget the dream budget, where do you want to be 3 years from now? Do it also at 6 months or 1 year. So you have increments. You're literally designing the map of where you want to go from where you start to where you want to be. That is really important. And I can share with you that in my life, I have done this and I have watched it double. So when I started out and, I was a single mom and I was working part-time and I was building my business, I was making nothing, and I did this and I did this. And when I did it, I don't know that I truly believed it could be possible, but I believed that, I guess I believed that I just had to get there. It wasn't even about possibility. It was like, this is the life I want to live, and this is what it's going to look like. So there wasn't really is this possible? It was, this is what it is. And I've watched it happen. And I'm ready to do that again. So I really encourage you to take the actual steps to do this. Your dream budget is your target. It's your ticket to the vision that you desire. It's the roadmap. And so be courageous and design where you will go. Then when you have your two budgets, you have where you are now and you have where you want to be. Then identify that the gap between your desired income and your desired expenses is actually what you need to work on. That I like to call it the fuel tank for my rocket ship, right? If I'm going to soar off into space and into, awesomeness, the gap between what my desired income and desired expenses are and what my actual income and actual expenses are is my rocket ship fuel container. So how big is it? How much rocket can I, what size rocket can I launch? If I have a tiny little rocket ship, fuel tank, I'm not going to get quite as far. So think about, how much fuel do you want to fill your rocket ship with, and let it soar. And that is where creativity is going to come in. And that is going to be where you can identify if you have limited visions or beliefs that stop you from having a big enough fuel tank to launch your dreams. Because our limited visions and our beliefs about money and success and our inability to say, I want to make $150,000 or, a year or more, or whatever, whatever that number is for you, is a real part of our path. If we are limiting our vision, if we can't even say what we want, then really, I don't really truly believe you could actually get there. And I believe that you are worthy of getting there, and I am worthy of getting there, and we are all worthy of getting there. So one of the things I think is really important to fill your rocket ship with is alternative fuel. So we often have our skills and our expertise that we bring forward into the world with our business. And we can get stuck in this idea of what we do, and that's all we do, and that's how much money we make. So when I started out, I was a contract bookkeeper, and I could have 6 clients at so many hours per week at so much dollars per hour, and that really sort of limited the amount of money I could make. And then I began to learn how to change that and come up with an alternative way of making money that is supportive and complementary of the skills that I have. And so this is where you can identify that you need more customers, you need more leads, you need more income streams to fill a larger fuel tank. Every business nowadays has more than one income stream that supports what they do and builds their success. This is precisely the place of discomfort. That is the place. We're comfortable at moving in and saying, okay, I'm going to be a massage therapist, or I'm going to be a bookkeeper, or I'm going to be a representative for Posh or some, company, Arbonne, I'm going to do this piece of business. I can do that. And then when you recognize, okay, that's not getting me all of the income I need, how am I going to get more customers? How am I going to get more leads? How am I going to open up more income streams? That's the place where you're going to meet the discomfort, and you're going to need to dream outside of what you've been used to. So looking at the second category of business success, now we're starting to get into advertising and marketing. How do people know who you are in your business? How are you representing your brand? And how are you networking? Are you networking only locally? Are you networking only virtually? Taking a look at where's your discomfort. There's some people who are like, I can only do the internet and that's it, and then there's some people that are like, I can only do local and I only want to talk to people local. I don't like the internet. I don't want to work on the internet. So as soon as you come up with with these I don't want to's, take a look at them. I'm not saying they are what you have to do. I am saying that they are the places where you start to get uncomfortable are really valuable to say, maybe there's something there that is actually going to help me. So be brave to look at those discomforts, those places of discomfort are important. Make your own alternative fuel. So find ways to identify who are you reaching and identify exactly who they are. So Courtney, when you came on and talked about identifying who your ideal client is, that actually is what I also want to say. Like, do they remind you of yourself? There's this, attraction marketing is a big thing in marketing that a lot of people talk about and are really successful with. And I, in my, heart of hearts, believe that's a really important thing that is happening nowadays, because we all want community. We all want connection. A lot of people are really desiring to work with other people, support local businesses, support people that they believe in, support people that are doing good things. And it's important to acknowledge that in many ways your best clientele is the person that you are mirroring something about yourself to, because they see themselves in you. And so that's an exceptional way to come up with alternative fuel to fill your tank, is to use who you are at your best self as your most whole representation in this world, to say, hey, I'm here and I know you're looking for me. Help yourself, make it easier for yourself. Your clients are the people that resonate with you vibrationally, because there's something about you that's like, wow, okay, we can connect, we share here, we see something in each other that's really valuable. And from there, I think that every business owner right now needs to think about how they are leveraging the internet, and how they can, I like to say, like, penetrating the disconnect in virtual space, right? So the internet it moves so fast, and there's so much going on in so many directions that it can be really hard to figure out how to actually use the internet successfully to grow your business. And so make alternative fuel. Be different in virtual space. Be that person that creates connection in virtual space. That is, I believe, really important, actually, where we are culturally as a community, as multiple communities coming together virtually. Identify how you can do that as yourself with your skills in your business. How do you create community and connection to create space virtually, that people feel like they are together and people feel like they are seen and valuable. That is a really important piece of building your customer base. Identify, do you have people coming back to you? Do you have people who are like just showing up and then gone, or do you actually have relationships with people, building actual relationships, knowing more about people's lives, is a really important part of being in business for yourself, being that person that isn't, a robotic salesperson or a digital voice on the phone that you call, but actually being a real human being is the way to get repeat leads and repeat people coming back to you. That's how you develop a following. And part of marketing your business and growing your business is going to be having a following. No matter what kind of business you're in right now, you need to have people that are looking for you. There are people who already are looking for you. You just have to put out the information that they're looking for so that they can connect with you, and find a way to put it out in a consistent way so that they know how to find what you're offering. Hang on one second. So in the way of marketing and advertising your business, where you're putting yourself out there as who you are, so that you can bring clients in who resonate with you, who feel comfortable with you, who trust you, by breaking down the disconnect of virtual space and creating relationships with people, every single time your visibility and your ability to connect with people is going to trump ability. So there could be somebody in virtual space who knows 100 times more than you do about what you're doing and does it 100,000 times better. But every single time, there are plenty of people who need exactly what you have, exactly the way you represent it. And that is so important to remind yourself of over and over and over again, until it is so comfortable in you that you're like, I'm the rock star. I'm the person that's doing awesome, just like I am, just as I show up, just as I put it out in the world. Visibility trumps ability all the time. So be consistent, make relationships, put who you are at your best self, like exactly, all of the quirky things about you that make you you is exactly what's going to make people attracted to you. And shine like the star that you are. That's so, so important. And the easiest and sometimes most difficult thing that we can do in marketing ourselves and our business. I think that a lot of people are shy or feel they like, I heard it recently, your attachment to what people think of you is bigger than your attachment to wanting to have an impact on other people's lives. So if you're more worried about what people are thinking about you, then you have less ability to have impact on people's lives through your business. So shine like the star that you are, and don't compare yourself to others. It's an important piece of being able to attract your tribe and repeat customers. Okay, so once you get that down, right, you have this idea like, okay, I'm going to be me, I'm going to do it my way, I'm going to put myself out there, I'm going to create relationships with people, I'm going to do this again and again consistently, so I get people like, all jazzed up about who I am. Now it's time to like pump the gas, all right? So you have your fuel tank, you're ready to launch your rocket, but you need the gas. Become the authority. Teach people what you already know. So let's say that you're a healer and you're looking for more clients. A way that you can attract more clients is to put information out into the market that people are looking for. What are the top 3 benefits of plant spirit, medicine healing? Or what are the top 5 benefits of regular massage? write a little something about it. Do a little video of yourself talking about it. Let people see you in action. Let people see who you are while you're giving them information, while you're becoming authority. As soon as you teach what you do, you become an authority, because there are people out there who, sure, they could look it up, but they're not. They're coming to you for it. And that's who you want. Those are your people. They want not only what you have to teach them, but they want the energy that you carry it with, and they want the connection that you're providing. So pump the gas. Start to become the authority in your industry. If you're an artist, I think about, that put yourself into the market as, and talk about, the, new medium that's out there, or review a piece of artwork, or talk about something that's happening in your specific field of artwork that, you want to educate people about. So there are a lot of ways to become the authority and teach people what you already know. You can look around your house and pick up a magazine or pick up a book that you recently read and pull out your favorite chapter of it and use that to say, here is, something that I think is really important about doing what I do, and this is why. And that is, people listen to that and they're like, oh, I never thought of it that way. Or, just a little bit of information will pique their inspiration and begin them to look for you again. Not too long ago, I did a little video on student loans, and just a tiny bit of information to people, like, if you have a student loan, this is what you should do. This is what you need to know. Take a look here, take a look there, figure out what's right for you. And by doing that, I had 4 people share that video, because they knew people that had student loans that wanted, would want that information. And so not only did I hit all of my, people on Facebook and followers, but then I hit all of theirs. And so just by becoming an authority, just a little tiny something that I'm always like, oh, so I know all this about student loans because I got a lot of student loans, So use what you know best to attract people to you, because that's what people are looking for. Okay, so keep pumping the gas. You can generate residual income in your business. And so there are a lot of companies out there doing good work right now that are established businesses that have been around for a long time, and you can join a team and build a team and then begin to make residual income by just picking up this part-time complementary business. And so if you're interested in network marketing or picking something up like that, you can let me know, and I can connect you with somebody that I know that's doing it, or give you some information about where to get more, let's say, feedback about successful businesses and whatnot. And that's, so you have a business and you need more income streams. So that is a way to develop more income streams, is to sort of put together multiple little businesses that all work together. You can receive passive income. This is one of my favorites. So Amazon has an affiliate program. So you can sign up. You go to Amazon.com and sign up to be an affiliate. So then on your blog or your website or your Facebook post or something like that, you write a review of the book you just read, and you're like, this is an awesome book, blah, blah, blah. If you want to buy it, click here. And if somebody clicks there and buys it from you, from your page, from Amazon, so you don't have any stock, you don't have it in your house, you get a commission for it. And there are a number of affiliate programs and passive income that you can tap into that way. But again, you have to stretch your mind open a little bit to see how you can do these kinds of things to build more income into your business. And And this one is a little bit counter. A lot of people think of it as sort of counterintuitive to building income in your business because it's actually an expense. But in the long run, investing in yourself, getting a coach to improve your marketing skills is an enormous way to grow your business. So, you know, I was thinking about it recently, and somebody said this to me. They were like, you know, you could put that money in the stock market and lose it just overnight, or you could invest in yourself and figure out how to make this for like the next 20, 30 years of your life. And I was like, you know, I had never heard anybody say that. I have a long history of investing in myself for really valuable work that I needed to do in my life. And, you know, I have no regrets for any of the money that I spent to do that. And I have to say that, you know, in all of the coaching that I've done as well, professional coaching, it's the same thing. It isn't always easy. It's certainly uncomfortable, and it's completely rewarding. So if you're interested, again, in, you know, more coaching about marketing skills, that is, I have a lot of information about that I would love to share. There are multiple different types of programs. There are, you know, less expensive and more expensive, and you know, learning from people who are doing it more successfully is really, I think, kind of a super simple process. Like, oh, okay, that person's doing it great. I'm going to pay attention to what they're doing, and I'm going to do that. Kind of goes back to the attraction marketing. So again, last one, which we talked about earlier, define and sharpen your niche, right? Marketing to everyone is marketing to no one. And so that one's for you, Courtney. That's right. You know, you have to know who your market is, who that person looks like, who they remind you of, because that's going to draw out all the best of you to connect with them. And that's how you can bring your gifts and talents to that person in the best way possible, because you know and understand something about them because you know and understand it about yourself, and you've lived through it. And that makes, you know, that's I think one of the most valuable ways that we can use ourselves to support our business and our experiences and the value in our life that you don't learn in a classroom. Okay, so it's your dream, and I think it's important and necessary to be willing to go big. Jump in and make it happen. Okay. Take massive action. And before I go through the content on this page, I was listening to Deepak Chopra. Oh, it's too late to try to get that out tonight. Yeah, too tired for that. So one of my favorite speakers, he's, you know, I think that every time I hear him, he completely centers me and helps me, you know, align with spirit. And he's not the first person I've ever heard say this, and perhaps I just needed to hear it today. And he was saying how, you know, successful people who are completely in alignment with spirit are extremely busy. They don't stop. They just go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. It's like life is happening to them, and they go with the flow. They don't resist it. So take massive action. It is one of the hardest things to do because you are operating on a whole nother frequency. You know, your whole energy level is vibrating because you are going from your one thing to the next. You're following the leads that the universe is putting out there. This is not to say don't take care of yourself. This is not to say don't have downtime or rest. I think that, you know, meditation, self-care, all of that is a part of this. I had a funny chuckle today because I had like 30 minutes in the day where I was on a call, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be on that call, and I'm going to sit down and drink water, and I'm going to drink as much water as I can. And so I was able to put together the ability to take action and still have self-care. So the more that you can pay attention to the speed, success likes speed, it moves very fast, the speed that you're moving at, and really pull in all the things that support you in those moments, the more likely you are to be able to stay moving fast and stay in alignment with the work that you're doing. So start with a daily calendar. Block off times during the week to commit to your business, specifically in the areas that you need to grow in, because we can avoid those areas so easily. So get it, make the commitment, make a date with yourself to do those things. So if you don't like doing videos and you need to be doing videos, or you feel shy of putting content out there or being an authority, make some time, put it on the calendar, and just start doing it. If you need some support in that, take a look at who is doing that and learn from them. Take a look at who is an expert at it, and get inspired for them. Swipe some of their material a little bit, and share their name, and say, oh, so-and-so really inspires me. And, I just want to share with you the, 3 things I learned from them. Or, but don't compare yourself to them. That's so, so important, because again, you are attracting people to you that are different than they are attracting. Get inspired by them. Don't compare yourself to them. In the first webinar, we talked about doing 30, 60, 90-day goals for your business. And this is the time to review those. So take your massive action, set your calendar, get your inspiration going and happening, and then go back to look at your goals. Am I doing what I said I would be doing? And readjust them if you need to. Goals as well as budgets are things that are fluid and they move. So make the adjustments as you need, and that's okay. And hold yourself accountable to the goals that you're setting. Trust your growth process. Like, underline that. That is so important. So, growing a business can be a really enormous venture. And, as one person, if you're a sole proprietor, which, are the people that this is who I talk to, we are one person doing many, many things. So in addition to our business, we have lives, we have families, we have households, we have, partners. Trust your growth process. If it takes you, 2 hours longer to figure out how to set up your first webinar than you thought it would, or your first, newsletter, or, to set up your blog, if these aren't things that are natural to you and they take time, trust your growth process. These are not signs of failure. They are not signs of inability. They are just simply growth process. And if anybody's ever had children or worked with children, think about what it's like to listen to a child learn how to read when they're sounding out every letter and it's really awkward, and then they get it. You're in that same phase. You're sounding out every letter and trying to figure out, okay, once I learn how to read, or once I learn how to build a blog, or a website, I'll be doing it, and there it is. But when you start, it doesn't look like that. And so just trust that process again and again. Because if you don't trust that process, you'll stop. You'll quit before you have a chance to succeed. So get busy enjoying the journey, I think, is a really important part of this. The destination is great. We all want to get there. Enjoying the journey is part of being successful. I think we might be a little over time tonight, and it's the last slide. Yeah. You are worthy of having your vision and having financial success and getting better and better and better. So I just wanted, before I finish, I want to invite everybody. We're going to do a couple more webinars in this series. In the next one, we'll talk about heart set and what fuels you to be successful on over and over and over again when it's so difficult. And then the last webinar I will hold will be masterminding. So really bringing together all of what we've talked about and what we're doing in business and mastermind and dream up together. I believe that really is a key part of being successful in business, is getting together with other people who are doing similar things and really coming up with awesome stuff, like, oh my God, I never thought of that, or we could work together this way. Like, those are really important and valuable tools to share. So thank you for listening to my presentation. I am going to